Hello all, welcome to Crowd-Driven Systematic Literature Review Mobile Application Demonstration. This is the login page of the application. Email address and password are mandatory fields for login. If user is not registered in the system, then user needs to register first. New user can be created by sign up link. Now, let's create a new user for demonstration. User needs to provide name, education, email and password. Out of these four fields, email and password field are mandatory. That's why these fields are highlighted. Let's create a user for demonstration. Name, education, then the valid email address. All the validations are done on the client side to make the application faster and lightweight. The password must be at least 3 characters long. As you can see, when valid email address and password is provided, the register as a user button is activated. Now let's create a new user by clicking on this button. Let's create a user. As you can see, the user registration is successful, so we can sign in the system. Email address is a unique field. If the same email address is used more than once, then the registration will not be successful. Now let's sign up in the system with the username we have created just now. Now click on login button. You can see there are two tabs. These two tabs represent two types of functions, one for general users and one for scientists. The database of this mobile application is gathered from Crowd. All details of papers and articles such as titles and abstracts found in this application are fetched from NCBI's website. NCBI is National Center for Biotechnology Information. NCBI currently supports 45 different types of databases. This version of application currently supports PubMed database from NCBI. PubMed database is comprised of over 26 million citations for biomedical literature from Medline, life science journals and online books. Now let's see what functionalities this application provides. For expert users, I have used term scientists. These users are responsible for creating the database of this application. Scientists can create entries for research papers or articles, research questions and studies. General users are all type of users who will actually use the database created by the scientists. To understand how this application actually works, I will create some entries. To create entries, I must proceed as scientist user. As I have already said, scientists can create three types of entries: studies, article entry and research question. Study is a combination of words or search strings which students or researchers use when they start searching research papers. I will explain it with an example. Suppose student's master thesis is in graph databases, then in this particular case, student might use NoSQL databases as a candidate search string. So in this application, search string NoSQL databases will become study. Med is a medical research literature. Let's create a study which is related to medical science. I'll create study name human nervous system. And I need to give some description about the study. So I'll just say that study represents nervous system literature, and I'll just click on the register new study button. Is created successfully. Now let's create some article entries in database. Scientist, then proceed as a scientist, create new article entry. As I have already said, PubMed APIs were used while designing this application. Each article in PubMed database is uniquely identified by its 8-digit PubMed ID. So scientists must know the PubMed ID of an article when they start creating the entry in this application, or they can fetch the PubMed ID of desired article by clicking on this link. This link will redirect users to the NCBI website where they can find article IDs. Now I'll create one article entry in the database. The article is related to human nervous system. As you can see, if the PubMed ID is less than 8 digits, then this text box will not accept that entry, and the enter the details button will not be activated. 8995. Now as you can see, 8-digit PubMed ID is provided. So let's click on the enter the details. Now the title and the abstract of this PubMed ID is fetched from the NCBI's website. So when I click on next, I can enter which research questions this particular article satisfies in this text box and which are the expert comments for this particular article. Now I will add research questions which can be answered by this article. Generic and molecular changes, and if I want to delete this particular research question, then I can click on this cross, and if I want to add more than one research question which can be satisfied by this article, then I'll click on this plus button. I will add one more research question, which is development and evolution of human system. So if I want to add any more, then I can click on this plus, and if I want to delete, then I'll just click on this cross button, and I will add the expert comment about this particular article in this comment section. Recent comparative analysis of extinct species containing evidences evolutionary changes in size and number of neurons in human nervous So now let's create article entry. On this page, it will ask to enter the studies associated with this particular article. More than one studies can be associated with one article. So as I have already said previously, this article is related to human nervous system, the study which we have created earlier. So I will just associate this particular article with this study. If I want to associate this article with more than one studies, then I need to click on this plus button and add the study accordingly. Currently this particular article is associated with just this human nervous system, then I'll just click on the cross button here. So now let's create the article entry. So the article entry is created successfully. Now we have created entries for study and article. Now let's create the last entry which scientist can create, which is research question. So create research question. So types of nervous system tumors. I'll create this research question, and this particular research question will be available when user or scientist is trying to create new article entry. Okay, so this research question is created successfully. Now we have seen how database of this application is created by scientists. Now let's see how general users can use the database created by scientists. I'll click on proceed as general user. As you can see, general users can access the data in three ways: study specific article search, article specific search, and research questions based search. In study specific article search, general users can find all the studies which are available in database from here, and according to their desire they can see which articles are associated with these particular key strings. So while creating study, we have created human nervous system. So let's see which articles are associated with this human nervous system. So view all articles. Now as you can see, there is one article associated with the selected study. This article entry we have created through our demonstration. So I'll just click on OK. Now let's see the other two ways. The next one is article specific search. This one is the PubMed ID based search. You will find all the articles currently available in the application. So this one is the article which we have just created. So I'll click on that one and view article details. So here you can see the PubMed ID, title, abstract, and the expert comment which we have created just now. So let's click on OK, and let's proceed again as a general user. And the last approach is research question based search. So let's see how this works. So here it will show all the research questions currently available in database. So I'll choose the one which we have created now, generic and molecular changes. So view articles. So there is one article associated with this selected research question which we have created right now. Okay. This is how the crowd driven systematic literature review mobile